Azuri is a pay-as-you-go solar company. We're headquartered out of Cambridge in the UK. We're actually an offshoot of the University of Cambridge. But all our operations are in Africa to serve the rural population who don't have access to power. And that is what we're changing by providing our cutting-edge and innovative products. We currently operate in 5 countries in Africa. So that's Kenya, which is our flagship. We're in Tanzania, Zambia. We just opened recently in Uganda, and in West Africa we're very active in Nigeria. We've been going for the last 5 years. We're actually one of the pioneers in this industry. So far we've connected more than 150,000 households, and we're growing quite aggressively. For example, we tripled our revenues last year, and that's the trajectory that we expect to maintain in the foreseeable future. In terms of our investments, so far we've invested close to 2 billion shillings in equity, and we've raised a similar amount of debt. So it's close to 4 billion shillings that we've put in this market. You know, there are 23 companies in the PayGo solar sector. But you know, of which I would say there are the big 3 or 4 who are larger than the others and more advanced, and we see ourselves as one of those big 3 to 4. If you look at the Kenyan demographics, so we're a 45 million population, so roughly 12 million households, of which roughly 3 million are connected to the grid. And interestingly, out of those 3 million, we've heard statistics that 1 million out of those are actually dormant. So they're connected to the grid, but they don't use electricity because of unreliability or unaffordability. So those become typical customers for us. But then there is a huge population of another 8-9 million households who are yet not connected to the grid. And out of those, we've hardly penetrated less than 1 million between us and our competitors. So there's still much more market remaining. And then if you look at other countries like Tanzania, Uganda, in terms of their grid penetration, they're even similar population, but even worse than Kenya. So the market opportunity there is also I would say larger than Kenya as well. So East Africa as a whole, if we include Zambia, then you're not looking at a market less than 20 million households. Okay. Out of all the East African states, Kenya is the most advanced, and just like how they were supportive for the adoption of a revolutionary system like M-Pesa, I think the government here is also very keen to the extent that they've made off-grid solar as part of their 2020 electrification strategy. So initially when we started, they were giving full incentives in terms of when you bring solar equipment and accessories, it was fully exempt from duties and VAT. Last year they brought some changes which caused a lot of confusion, where only now the solar panel and the battery unit are exempt. But then the Kenyan government, for example, is doing other great things, like they have partnered with the World Bank to provide a $100 million facility to support some of the underserved counties. Tanzania, many of us struggle in terms of doing the business there, because even though the rules are set, the goalposts tend to be moved to the extent we've also seen 1 or 2 competitors, even large competitors, exit the market. Uganda is, I would say, somewhere in between Kenya and Tanzania. So we really hope it goes towards the Kenya way and even betters that. Okay. Just having that basic lighting system, economically for the customer, it's a no-brainer, because number one, they save on kerosene costs, which is also environmentally and health-wise not so friendly. So already customer is getting clean energy, but compared to paying X amount of shillings for the kerosene, plus on top of that they have to then charge their mobile phones at kiosks. So every charge costs 20 shillings plus the transport transport cost to and fro to go to the kiosk to do the charging. So if you take all that into account, the customer actually makes a net saving by using the solar system. And remember, our model is a rent to own model. So eventually the customer is paying in installments, but then eventually the customer actually owns the system. For our basic lighting system, which comes with 4 lights, 10 watts solar panel, rechargeable radio, phone charger and a torch, they pay on a weekly basis 340 shillings per week over a period of 18 months. The other beauty about our product is that we don't charge any deposit for that product. And for the TV system, they pay equivalent of 99 shillings a day over 2.5 years.